What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you're joining us once again for a Micro Mini Lightning Newscast, where we bring you news in 10 minutes, news you can use. And as always, I'm joined by my friend and guest co-host.
Thanks. I like the odd pauses in there to make it sound like it's questionable who I am and that why I'm even here. This is Eric.
Well, sometimes, Eric, it just comes out in different ways. And
just pregnant
pauses.
Yeah.
I went to the William Shatner School of Speaking.
Yep. I can tell.
Yeah. The Klingons are coming. Look out. All right. Well, we are bringing you news today about... We're going kind of meta with this one, Eric. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hit me.
News about news.
What?
Yeah.
Does that even make sense?
It doesn't, but it's going to blow the listener's mind.
Ear cavities or whatever we call them.
Oh, yeah. Or, you're going to have to stuff it into your hearing cavities.
Hearing caverns. Was it caverns?
Yeah, caverns. I think that's right.
Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, you haven't listened to enough of our shows.
Yeah, go back and listen to our podcast. All right, here we go. And as always, we're joined by the guest star, Death Star. 10 minutes are put on the clock.
And then we'll ignore it.
And keep talking. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. That first story is, Eric, there's a recent thing put out by The Guardian that says news is bad for you. And giving up reading it will make you happier.
I hope that's an article that they want you to read. I hope that's a news article that they want you to read.
I was going to say, that headline doesn't say read this article. It says walk away from it.
Yeah, don't read this.
For your own safety.
It's very clickbaity.
But you know what? It also intrigues you. It's like one of those pictures that you look at and you say, it's horrible, but strangely, I can't look away.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Eric, let me
break it down for me.
Let me give you some of the reasons they throw out there. First of all, news misleads.
What?
This news environment, this ecosystem that is out there, they give you misleading stories. Did you know that?
I did not.
Did you know that in an effort to sell papers, some people might lie to you?
What?
I know. Eric, are you okay?
I'm hurt deeply.
Is your world turned upside down?
Why would news do that? It's supposed to hold you close and caress your face and tell you everything's gonna be okay.
But no, Eric, that's not what it's going to do. They are going to sensationalize that story so that you, the viewer, can't look away and in some ways are frightened.
What? Frightened?
Eric, people that consume news media are like frail little sheep. When they hear something out in the woods, they get scared and they run. And that's what happens.
That's what I do.
There are these wolves in sheep's clothing that we call the news media.
Yeah.
And they tell these stories that are meant to scare and frighten and pretty much tell stories that they want to tell. Here's the next one. You ready?
I'm just consuming what you're saying, and it's changing my worldview. The archetype I thought I was, I am no longer. Continue.
News is irrelevant.
What?
Eric, settle down.
Oh my gosh. Tell me more.
This person that wrote this article, it says out of the approximately 10,000 news stories you have read in the last 12 months, name one that because you consumed it allowed you to make a better decision about a serious matter affecting your life, your career, or your business.
Huh?
Eric, these news stories, they don't impact your life on a global scale.
They don't?
Like you would think. Although
hold on.
I read a pretty good article about how to eat healthy the other day, and it helped me make some decisions about my eating habits.
Did it?
Yeah, I eat more Big Macs now.
Of course, because Big Macs are the most healthiest thing ever. I read that in the Ronald McDonald News.
Yep, it's right there on the menu.
They said, well, I mean, I always want to have my vegetables, French fries, and my main meal, Big Mac.
Look at Grimace. He eats a Big Mac a day, and man, he looks great.
He's rocking it. He's like 80 years old. He looks beautiful.
He is. He is. Looks the same as the day he was born.
That's right.
Eric, it also says news has no explanatory power.
I don't know what that means. Can you explain it to me?
It says news items are bubbles popping on the surface of a deeper world. I love how this person tries to sound like really deep. But it says, will accumulating facts help you understand the world? Sadly, no.
Well, the McNews says it will.
The relationship is inverted. The important stories are non-stories, slow, powerful movements that develop below journalists' radar, but have a transforming effect. And they're saying that this is the way news is.
I don't.
The first three, Eric, is that it's irrelevant, that it has no explanatory power, and that it misleads. It lies to you.
I'm not watching any more news. I thought I was happy, but apparently I'm miserable. And if I just stop, I'll feel better. That's what it sounds
Eric,
like.
It gets better, though.
I need to know.
News is toxic to your body, too.
What?
It constantly triggers the limbic system. Panicky stories spur the release of cascades of glucocorticoid cortisol.
Thank you, Dr. Nick.
That's the Latin word I just said. The short version is cortisol.
Yep.
But I mean, it causes all of these things. This can affect your cell, hair, and bone, your nervous system, digestion, lack of growth.
That's why I'm short.
Eric, that's why I lost all my hair.
What's wrong with us, Nick?
I read the news. All right. News also increases cognitive errors. News feeds the mother of all cognitive errors. You ready for this?
I don't even understand. Sure.
Confirmation bias. In the words of Warren Buffett, what the human being is best at doing is interpreting all new information so that their prior conclusions remain intact. News exacerbates this flaw. We become prone to overconfidence, take stupid risks, and misjudge opportunities. It also exacerbates another cognitive error, the story bias. Our brain craves stories that make sense, even if they don't correspond to reality. Any journalist who writes, the market moved because of X, or the company went bankrupt because of Y, is an idiot. I am fed up with the cheap way of explaining the world.
Wow.
This
I
know. It gets your cognitive thoughts and errors just a buzzing.
What is real? Who am I? What's happening?
Well, Eric, I'm gonna keep this rolling. It inhibits thinking. It causes you concentration, requires uninterrupted time. Reading these stories and interrupts your concentration. News pieces specifically engineered to interrupt your day. They are like viruses, and they steal attention from your own purposes. You can be so consumed by a story that you miss out what's happening right in front of you.
Okay.
News works like a drug. We crave more of it.
Ooh,
our skulls want more of it.
Sweet, delicious drugs.
So take your newspaper, chop it up, and snort it up your nose.
Done.
Don't do that.
Oh, that won't do that.
By the way, that'll probably be the next YouTube challenge thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think of the foil ball challenge?
News wastes time, Eric. Speaking of waste of time, news wastes time. If you read the newspaper for 15 minutes each morning, then check the news for 15 minutes during lunch, 15 minutes before you go to bed, and 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, your work, then count distraction and refocus time, you lose half the day every week. You lose half a day every week.
I lose half a day? If I stop all this, will I find all my half a days back?
I don't know, but Eric, it keeps going. News makes us passive. News stories are overwhelming about things you cannot influence, so why try? It makes us passive.
Wow. I just give up. I can't do anything.
And finally, Eric, this person who wrote this bastion of joy, this person that has brought us nothing, this Rolf DeBelly, he ends it by saying, "News kills creativity."
Really? So this guy that writes articles for The Guardian, I'm assuming this is an editorial, he has, here's what I understand, wasted my time. He has influenced my decision making.
He's killed your creativity.
Killed my creativity. He's increased bias into my life. I now hate newspapers now.
And here's Eric. Here's the thing you're going to find out.
What?
Here's the twist that I'm bringing to you right now. This article was written in 2013. Dun dun dun. This man 5 years ago told us all the things wrong with reading newspapers. And I found a gentleman recently that tried to ignore all. There's a reason I brought all this together, Eric. It goes to this weird conspiracy that I have. If you'll look up on the wall,
yeah, I didn't understand it.
This red tape here, but there is a man who tried to ignore all the Trump news. He said his final point was this. He said, "I wanted to see what I could learn about modern news media by looking at how thoroughly Mr. Trump had subsumed it. In one way, my experiment failed. I could find almost no Trump-free part of the press." And Eric, that gentleman in 2013 said that if you read the newspaper, all those things could happen to you. All those things could happen to you.
Yes.
Well, Eric, now the people have a way to read, not to read, but to listen to news that is, as this guy in 2018 that was trying to avoid Trump news, sir, you can listen to a mostly Trump-free newscast right here.
Mostly.
On the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast. And that's right, people. I just did a commercial inside of a newscast. Boom! Drop the microphone. Eric, tell me your thoughts, sir.
I'm conflicted. So the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast is one of my favorite newscasts.
Mine too. I go to it. I use it for all of my news needs.
Clearly, it's the source I rely on most.
And folks, that's an unbiased review that you just heard from Eric right there. But Eric, please go ahead. Keep going.
I'm just conflicted. How could a man not find our newscast? That bothers me. He's looking for a Trump-free. Well, this is mostly Trump-free. We should have found us.
Well, I want to come up with a tagline that says Micro Mini Lightning Newscasts, now 80% Trump-free.
80%. I would think we're more than that. I think we're more in the 90s. We only talk about Trump.
Okay, I'll go with 89% Trump-free.
89% Trump-free. I'll accept that one. Well, I learned so much today. You've taught me. I've grown as a person. I don't know if I'm more or if I'm less today.
Eric, truly you're more because you know about the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast. Sadly, that man in 2013 never got to experience the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast.
I feel he is a kindred spirit with the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast because I know he wasn't talking about us. I know he was talking about published media and those bias sites all over the internet, not the beautiful world of podcasting.
Well, although that gentleman from the Guardian was unable to listen to our podcast back then, the New York Times gentleman that tried to go Trump free, he can listen to our podcast. And Eric, tell him where he can find us.
Well, sir, you can find our podcast all over the internet. You know what's easy? iTunes. Just go to iTunes and look for it. Pull up at your podcast. But you know what? If you're stuck into the video realm and you haven't transferred over to the pure pleasure of listening to a podcast on your mobile device,
or if you are in the the print media realm, which 1990 called and they want you to come give them back their newspaper. Go ahead.
You can find us on YouTube. Just search for Pull Up a Chair Podcast. You can find us on wicked, crazy social media. The stuff that tracks your day-to-day life. Facebook. So just type in Pull Up a Chair Podcast. And you know what? So just turn over your life to the Facebook gods. You can also find us on every podcasting app that I can think of, and also on Spotify and on Alexa. Well, the last place you can find us is our own website. Pull Up a Chair Podcast is not the website. It's puckpodcast.website, pucpodcast.website. I forgot the name of our website, Nick. I'm sorry.
That's okay, my friend.
It was the news I listened to today shaped my bias that caused me to forget my creativity, which erased our website from my mind.
Eric, well played and well told. Another true story, unbiased, from our good friend Eric. You know what, people? Get out there, learn a little something about your world. Unplug for a little while. Just
keep your headphones in and your phone near you, though.
That's right. As new episodes will come out of the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast. And have yourself a great day.
Bye.